you know what? At times, I think it's on us to applaud and appreciate the talent that we see in front of us. The Montreal Canadiens are in a spot where they are playing off against the Buffalo Sabres later today. It will be a 4 p.m. PST game, so normal time for the folks on the East Coast. I'm going to be busy this afternoon, most likely in the evening too, so I don't think I'll be able to watch the game, but because it's a bright and early Saturday, I'm here talking about the Canadiens hours before the program. I wanted to get into an article that I had seen on TVA Sports, which talks about the first overall pick from the 2022 NHL Entry Draft, Juraj Slafkovsky, and some of the very high pressure that he is putting upon himself. This show is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Go out there and check out the first link in the description to save some money on your VPN, get some free months, and support this YouTube channel all in the process. But what I'll also leave a link in the description to, aside from our ExpressVPN affiliate page, is this article. Pathetic sequence. Juraj Slafkovsky wants to produce as much as Nick Suzuki. This was published yesterday by Marc-Antoine Malot, and it's a really intriguing dive into Juraj Slafkovsky's overall mentality towards the way that he's played this season and how he feels about himself. Now, I'll start this entire commentary by saying that last time we had seen Juraj Slafkovsky be a little bit overly critical on himself, it was on a TVA Sports interview with Dave Morissette. Slafkovsky said this, that it's been pretty embarrassing, I think, the start of this year. I didn't like my game, so I knew that I had to change something. So from now on, I'll try to play my game this way and see where it takes me. And then Morissette then replied saying, Juraj, I wouldn't say embarrassing. You're 20 years old and you got 20 goals last year and 30 assists. For a 20-year-old playing in this league, I would not say embarrassing. It may not be the season you like, but everybody loves you in Quebec. And that, of course, is one of the rare interactions where you'll see an NHL media member actually doing some good things, building up the player that is tearing himself down, acknowledging the truth that, hey, this guy is a young player, he's found a way to improve his game significantly over the past few weeks. Last year, he had a pretty similar surge in the second half of the year. It's kind of crazy. I've been seeing this idea pop up, but people are saying on social media like, hey, the second half of the season comes around and Slafkovsky turns into prime Jaromir Jagr. What's up with that? Regardless, I don't necessarily think that Slafkovsky is going to be a multi-time 100-point scorer like Jagr was, nor a first-ballot Hall of Famer playing until he's 50 million years old, but there is a lot to like out of Slafkovsky and what we have seen as of late. And if you head over to his game log, you will see a bunch of points, a bunch of really interesting statistics. Elite Prospects doesn't show hits, but the guy has been hitting a lot in the previous 4 games that he has had, where he has had a whole bunch of shots and 4 points in 4 games as well. Slafkovsky is like a total wrecking ball out there that is confident to hold onto the puck and make plays in the offensive zone. He stood up for himself in the Ottawa game. He got into a fight. He's kind of taking that quote-unquote Brady Tkachuk label super literally, and we are all seeing that on the ice here. But this is the thing. We're making this video not because of some of those extra statistics, but because of Marc-Antoine Malot's article from yesterday. Pathetic sequence, Juraj Slafkovsky wants to produce as much as Nick Suzuki. Let's dive into it here, shall we? Juraj Slafkovsky does not care about his 4-game point streak, the longest he's had all season. The grass is always greener on the other side, he explained with his dry humor. A point in 4 games in a row is pathetic. I would prefer to have a streak like Nick Suzuki's. I'm not at all satisfied with my streak, claimed the likable Slovak. Ignored by Team Canada at the Four Nations face-off, Nick Suzuki came back strong after the break with 8 points in 3 games. There's a good chance he'll be one of the NHL's 3 stars of the week. We force a lot of turnovers by putting pressure on, which allows us to get points, but it's also thanks to Susie, Slafkovsky continued, adding that he was happy to play with the captain. And yeah, that certainly is a good number. 8 points in 3 games for Nick Suzuki. Of course Juraj is going to go out there and say, yeah, I'm doing okay, but I'd rather do what Nick Suzuki is doing. I'd rather double my points in the previous few games. Although the word choice certainly is interesting. A point in 4 games in a row is pathetic, Slafkovsky says. If that doesn't go out and shows you the pressure, the significant heat that he puts onto himself to produce and to be effective and to be capable at the NHL level, I don't know what will. He already said that his season has been embarrassing, he was comparing himself to last year, and now he's saying that, yeah, 4 points in 4 games is great, but it's kind of pathetic when you look at Nick Suzuki and his 8 points in 3 games. I mean, I'm not going to disagree and say that 8 points in 3 games is not generally better than 4 points in 4 games, but still, I mean, baby steps, right? Juraj Slafkovsky's in his early 20s. He's still got a lot to learn and show for at the NHL level. He's in that 21-year-old age range, so I don't think anybody's expecting him to be a number 1 caliber guy right now. But he still is producing, and especially at a lot more of a clip compared to the first part of the season. The rest of the article, by the way, if you wanted to dive into it, it talks about Nick Suzuki and his qualities as a leader, as a captain, and it goes over some extra thoughts from guys like Marty St. Louis. Actually, you know what? We can dive into this here because it's good fodder for the Habs game against Buffalo. Nick Suzuki is leading. I think he knows where we are in the season and what kind of responsibilities he has as a player. He's doing his job, St. Louis explained. The head coach will need his top line for the final third of the season. He won't need to discuss it too much with Slafkovsky, who puts enough pressure on himself. His 33 points in 56 games do not satisfy him, but he'll have the opportunity to add more in the next 2 games against the Buffalo Sabres. The Canadiens and Slaf love playing against this team. Montreal has won 7-5 and 6-1 against these Atlantic Division rivals this season, and Slafkovsky has had 5 points. We want to score a lot of goals and we don't want to concede any. I believe we can deploy our attack again, he predicted. So, pretty vanilla way to end off the article here by saying that, hey, the Canadiens took it to the Buffalo Sabres last 2 times they played, and Slafkovsky got a whole bunch of points in the process. I'm just saying, Uri, if there's a chance for you to go out there and get your number up to 8 points in 3 games, there's a chance against the Buffalo Sabres. All we gotta do is hope for the guy to get 5 points on the night, right? Okay, maybe that's a little bit unobtainable, but still, there is a lot for Slafkovsky to build off of. He's been hitting guys like crazy. He has been a force. This tweet from Mark Dumont, I think, goes out there and describes everything that you need to know. He says, "To me, the most obvious sign Slafkovsky is playing with confidence is when he doesn't hesitate to gain the offensive zone with control of the puck. He's been doing that a lot lately." So, forechecking, right? Not being afraid to control the puck as he crosses the line. There's a lot going on here with Juraj Slafkovsky that I think a lot of us should be looking forward to in the next few years. It's just going to hopefully be a situation where, hey, a lot of the momentum that he builds in the second parts of seasons, hopefully he's able to get right in there, out of the gate, playing like that at the start of these future seasons, because of course, it's great to see Slafkovsky dominating, it's just we don't really want to wait half a season to see it. So, for now, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below about Juraj Slafkovsky and his own commentary about his point streak being pathetic. And do you think that this really is the right way to think about his own point streak? I mean, of course, none of us are Juraj Slafkovsky. He's hard on himself, but what are your thoughts on his overall mentality, and how do you think that's going to affect him into the future? Let me know in the comments what do you think. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.